Hello everyone. In this video, I will be explaining for you and solving the mid-chapter quiz of grade 10, chapter 5, circles. So I will be focusing on solving the first 4 to 5 lessons for the mid-chapter quiz. So let's focus on the first question. In this question, he's asking you and giving you a circle. He would like you to name the circle, name a diameter, name a chord that is not a diameter. So, first of all, always, whenever he's asking you to name the circle, look at the center. So, you can name the circle by its center. So, circle A, or you can just draw this center and call it circle A. Now, we know that the diameter, it's all about a segment that's passing through the center. So your diameter will be shown by the highlighted color, like this. So your diameter is EC or CE. Now, name a chord that is not a diameter and pay attention to this. That means it is a segment that cutting the circle which having two endpoints and it should not pass through the center. That means this is your chord E, D. So we are done of question 1, 2 and 3 that is related to the image that he gave you, which is related to the first lesson of chapter 5. Now let's go to other question in the first lesson. A bicycle will be having tires that are 24 centimeters in diameter. So he gave you the diameter already. Find the circumference of one tire. So you already know that your circumference can be found using whether 2 pi r or pi d. Since he gave you your ready diameter, so you can use directly pi d, which is 24 pi. And the units will be centimeter. And if you would like to find the estimated circumference, then it is around 75.4 centimeter. Now let's go to question B. How many centimeters does the tire travel after 100 rotation? So pay attention. Each rotation, the tire will be traveling, which is circular. It means it will be covering all the circumference. So each rotation will equal for you 2 pi r, which is already your circumference. Good. What if you are having 100 rotations? How many centimeters? That means all what you need to do is that you can convert it to proportions and solve it using cross product. So if one rotation will be giving you the circumference which you got previously, then the 100 rotation, how many centimeters there will be? So the distance, it's all about multiply now. So 100 multiplied by your circumference, which you got in A. That means it will be 24 pi multiply, so your distance will be 2400 pi, which will be around 7540 centimeter. Good. That means you need always to think how can you connect the rotations to the circumference of the circle itself. Good. Let's go to the other question. And also it's related to the first lesson. He would like you to find the diameter and the radius of the circle, and he gave you already your circumference. Round to the nearest hundredth. So let's solve question 5. That means in question 5, when you are having circumference of 23 centimeter, let's now put the rule. The circumference, it's all about pi d. That means we can just substitute 23 equal pi d. The unknown is the diameter. So your diameter, you will be dividing both sides with pi. So it will be 23 over pi. Good. Now, if you would like to keep it as it is, that means you will not be able to round. So use your calculator and try to round. So it will be 7.32 centimeter. Now, your radius will be having a relationship with the circumference and with the diameter. So you are having two ways to solve this. Whether you depend on the value that you got previously, and you know that your radius is half the diameter, and you can just divide by 2 whatever you got, so it will be 3 point, let me just write it, 3.66, around 3.66, or you can solve it from the beginning and relate it to the circumference, which is more safe in your case, because sometimes some people will be getting the diameter in a wrong way. So at least be careful and use the circumference again in order not to get it wrong. So you will be substituting with the 23 is equal to 2 pi r. So divide both sides with the 2 pi. So your r, it's all about 23 over 2 pi, and it will be around 3.66. So now I give you two methods. Use whatever you like, but pay attention if you will be using the diameter. Make sure that you got the right value. And my advice for you is that use the exact value in order not to have the short rounded value. So I advise you to solve 6 alone. It will be having the same procedure. Let's go to question 7, and it is a multiple choice question. Find the length of BC. So he would like you to find the length, and pay attention. He doesn't want the measure. He would like to have the arc length. So let's focus on this. So I'm getting you a question like this. All what you need to do is that search for your diameter, look for it. So your diameter is here. That means if you focus, this will be a semicircle, and each semicircle will be having the measurement of total of 180. That means if you would like to have the measurement of BC, it will be all about 180 minus 168. With this, you will be getting the measure of BC, not the length. Pay attention. Now, if you would like to find the length of the arc of BC, that means you need to follow the following rule. X over x degree over 360 degree multiplied by 2 pi r. So your length will be 12, because you got already your central angle, which is the same as BC over 360 multiplied by pi d or 2 pi r. So 2 pi r can be converted also to pi d. So pi multiplied by 21. So now calculate this and it will be all about 2.20 centimeter, which will be your B choice. Great. Now let's go to the movies. The movie reel shown below has a diameter of, so he gave you your diameter and you are having diameter of 14.5 centimeter. So this question is related to the second lesson. So let's focus here. How can I solve such a question? He would like me, so this is question 8. This was for question 7. So for question 8, we are having two parts. The first part, I would like to have the measurement of ADC. So ADC arc was all of this. So you need to pay attention to what given to you. So he already specified this angle for you. You should understand that ADC is your major arc, which is related to the angle that is opposite to it. That means directly, if you are understanding the rules of mathematics, you will be choosing 240. Now, let's go to the other question. B. Find the length of ADC. Now I would like to have the length, not the measure. So I will be using the same as the above rule. So I'm having here x degree over 360 multiplied by the circumference, which is 2 pi r, or I can make it pi d according to the given, because this is all about my circumference. Good. So now let's substitute together. So your length, it's all about 240 over 360 multiplied by pi, and he gave you your diameter, which is 14.5. Now get your answers. It will be around 30.4 centimeter. Great. Let's go now to the other question. Now, he would like you to find the value of x. So, focus with me. This is related, these two questions, 9 and 10, related to the third lesson. So, in question 9, he gave you the measurement of this arc and this arc. And he's asking you about the measurement of this and this one. So we all know that the summation of the central angles inside a circle is 360. And also we know that the corresponding arc for each central angle Also, if I sum them, they will be giving me 360. So the summation of all central arcs will be related to the center, and it will be giving you 360. So now let's sum them. 110 plus 110 plus x, and they will be giving you total of 360. Now add all of them. You are having like terms, so 2x plus 220 equal to 360. Now let's solve this equation. Minus 220 minus 220. So it will be 2x is equal to 140. Divide both sides by 2. Your x measurement will be 70 degree in both sides. That's it. Now let's go to question 10, which is again related to lesson 3. So he gave you a circle. The center of this circle is B. He gave you the measurement of the chord CE, which is 13.5. And he would like you to find this small segment BD. And he would like you to round to the nearest hundredth. So now pay attention with me. Whenever you are having any question like this, you know that you are already having your diameter cutting the chord, and this will be your chord or your arc bisector. Means it will be cutting it to two congruent sides. That means if all of these are 13.5, that means your CD will be equal to DE, which will be equal to 13.5 divided by 2. Great. Now, that means you will be dividing by 2 and getting the answer, which will be 6.75. Great. Now, I would like to get BD. So now I have already my CD, which is 6.75. Good. So with this, after we got already our two congruent segments, let's imagine that I'm needing BD. So, and I'm having this small segment. What about if we used already the Pythagorean theorem? So, let me just make it bigger. What if I use the property of having right angle triangle? So let me just draw it again here for you. So we will be having a small right angle triangle, which will be having sides of BD and your CD, and your CB will be already your radius, and you know that all radius inside the circle are congruent. So this is your radius, and your BD is already unknown, you don't know it. CD 6.75. Good. Now let's apply on the theorem. A square plus B square is equal to C square. So I'm having everything except BD. That means one of the sides are missing. So let's now use the rule. BD squared plus 6.75 squared equal 8 squared. Let's now substitute and simplify. it will be all about 8 squared minus 6.75 squared equal to around 4.29. Good. That means we use the properties of the right angle triangle. So in these questions, you need to focus on the trick, which is all radius inside the circle are congruent. So this is a radius, this is a radius, any place here, just sorry, it made bigger. So any place there is also a radius and all radius are congruent. Good. So now let's go to the other question. You are having another question related to lesson 3. Two circles are congruent. So you know that this circle is congruent to this circle. So he would like you to find the x and also the length of the chord. Good. Now, in this circle, in circle 1, he gave you the chord and he just gave you your minor arc. He gave it to you as 76. So what if I ask you to find this arc? It means that you need to subtract 360 minus 76 and you will be getting 284. Now let's focus. In this question, he gave you the chord and he gave you the major arc, but the minor arc is missing. So again, 360 minus 284, it will be giving you 76. Good. Now, since you are having two congruent circles and you are having already congruent arcs, that means the congruent arcs will lead that you will be having congruent chords. So this chord will be congruent to this chord. That means if they are congruent, that means they are equal in measure. So make them equal. 3x minus 7 equal to 2x plus 9. Now you are having equation with variable on each side. You need to make the variables alone and the numbers alone. So 3x minus 2x equal to 9 plus 7. That means your x is equal to 16. What he would like you to have also, the length of the chord. So you can choose any of them and substitute. So the length will be, let's substitute with 2 multiplied with 16 plus 9, it will be equal to 41. Good. And you have no units here. Let's go to this question. It's related to lesson 4. Now, he's asking you, find the measurement of TU. Now pay attention. What is the type of this angle? It's inside the circle and its vertex, it's on the circumference. That means it's not a central angle. It's all about inscribed angle. So you need to keep in your mind the rule or the formula of the inscribed angle. So any inscribed angle, which is for example angle V, will be half the measurement of the intercepted arc. Now let's look at question 12. I'm having the measurement already of my angle, which is 23 is equal to half multiplied by the measurement of my arc. That means to get the measurement, I will be multiplying by 2. So measurement of TU, just let's multiply by 2 and I will be getting 46. Now let's go to question 13. Another inscribed angle, but this time he's asking you about the angle, not the arc, and he gave you the measurement of the arc itself as 170. So the measurement of the angle must be equal to half the measurement of your intercepted arc, which is CB. So half of 170, which will be equal for you 85. So pay attention whether he's asking you to find the intercepted arc or whether he's asking you to find the inscribed angle. Now let's go to this question, which really connected to the understanding of the concepts. So last two questions also related to the fourth lesson of this chapter. So multiple choice question. He would like you to find x. So let's focus on question 14. He would like you to find x. He gave you a circle and he didn't tell you anything about this. Now pay attention. Where is the arrow of x? It is directly on the angle of E and on angle of F. Good. Now let's focus. What's angle F? What's angle E? Are they central angles? Are they inscribed angles? Ask yourself. So if we will be looking deeply, they are having a vertex, both of them, on the circumference. That means they are inscribed angle. So let's follow the first one, E. So E will be an inscribed angle which having two ends, H and G. Now let's go to the other inscribed angle, angle F, which will be having also the same ends. Good. Now having the same ends will be resulting on having the same intercepted arc. So that means your inscribed angle inside these circles are congruent. So angle E will be congruent to angle F. And having two congruent angles means the measurements will be equal to each other. So here I'm having to find x. That means I just need to substitute 8x plus 6 is equal to 10x minus 4. So we are having an equation with variable in each side. We can solve this equation and it will be resulting on having 10x minus 8x. I just move this to this side and will be equal to 6 plus 4. That means 2x is equal to 10. Divide both sides by 2. That means your x is equal to 5. So this will be your choice of G. Now let's go to the last question of the mid-chapter quiz. You are having a square with sides of 14 centimeter. And of course we know that the square will be having congruent sides. So all of them will be having the measurement of 14. So it's inscribed in a circle. That means the polygon is inside the circle itself. and he would like me to know the diameter of the circle. So in such a question, all what you need to do is that imagine that your diameter is same as if you cut your square into two right angle triangle. That means you can use to find your diameter this rule: a square plus b square equal to c square. Now let's substitute. That means I'm having the sides and I'm just missing my diameter. So if I would like to substitute, I will be having this answer. And of course, after taking the square root, you will be having a negative and positive value. You will just take the positive value and it will be 14 square root of 2 centimeter. And this is your diameter. That's the end of the video. If you have any question, let me know in the comments. Stay tuned and wait for the solution of the practice test and standardized test of this chapter.